Also breaking today, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche announcing the release of millions more files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Our justice correspondent, David Spunt, is reporting on this in Washington. Hi, David.
Hi, Aisha. You're not exaggerating when you say millions. More than 3 million pages are now being posted to the Justice Department website. This includes more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images. The Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche took multiple questions on the files released today and said most of the videos are commercial pornography. Not all videos featuring Jeffrey Epstein or shot by Jeffrey Epstein. Blanche says medical records, images that may show harm toward children, and any sort of physical abuse were not released publicly. Some of the names mentioned in the files dumped today: Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and Steve Bannon. Again, not much context when names are released. Important to point that out, and we've not seen evidence that anything was criminal between those men. Now, context is key, but there's not been a lot of context. Some of the communications from Epstein are none too kind to this man, President Trump. The two knew each other back in the 90s in Palm Beach and are pictured together numerous times over the years. Today's document release includes Trump's name many times, but there is a note that says some of the claims were submitted to the FBI before the 2020 election, and of the documents released thus far, none have anything criminally damaging involving President Trump. Here's Blanche on criticism that he, the president's former personal attorney, is protecting his former client. Watch.
We did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody. I mean, I think that there's a hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents. And there's nothing I can do about that.
Blanche says it's possible more would be released if judges order more to be released, but he said of today's release, quote, "Today's release marks the end of a very comprehensive document identification and review process."
Protesters. Let me see if I can...
Yeah, so we got to talk about this because they released millions of documents from the Epstein list, right? And of course, you know, Trump's in the files. Trump's in the files. That's the narrative that liberals have been running with. And I want to talk about it. We aren't going to run away from this. We aren't going to hide. We aren't going to, shy away because Trump's name is in it. No, it's not the time to do that. Especially since liberals want to always try to run with the narrative that Trump's in the files, so he had to be doing this stuff, you know. So let's talk about it. All right. First up on the menu, we got Midas Touch. The new Epstein Files production features numerous allegations made against Donald Trump and others. And so here are some of the files. He measured children's, blah, blah, blah. Modeling, attended 8 parties at Epstein, New York. You know, okay. You can pause and read all of that if you would like to, okay? Now, these are complaints, okay? These are complaints. You can see there. Now, I want to point out something that's quite interesting that, of course, liberals don't want to point out. And that is this. Okay, hold on. Let me, here we go. Let's bring this up. Okay. Interesting how Midas Touch edits out that the person calling with the crazy allegation was not only deemed not credible, but has a history of mandatory psychiatric evaluations. Excuse me. So here's the part that you didn't see that, you know, these leftists want to post out of the files, okay? Complainant was spoken to and deemed not credible. Additional research showed three separate incidents involving police which requested in mandatory psychiatric evaluations. That's what you won't see these leftists posting, all right? Here you go, a clear view of the President Trump allegations in the Epstein files. And yes, the link works now because there was this whole thing that they were pushing that, the Trump DOJ deleted the files and they were trying to block it and whatever else. It's online for anybody to see. That was fake news. As I stated previously, these allegations came from random people, including from Australia, calling into NTOC or SDNY tip line. Again, people are posting these and deceptively editing out the most important part. In all of these cases, the information was deemed secondhand or invalid. These entries are details of calls made into a tip line. The third and fourth columns represent the responses made in follow-up to the accusations made in all of these cases. The information was deemed secondhand or invalid. That's what these leftists are leaving out when they post, Trump in the files. And I want to show you guys one example of how I'm not really believing these files. Something weird is going on here. And I'll explain why I think what I think happened in a second. All right, Exhibit A. Okay, so you see here, Donald Trump, online complainant, okay, reported she was a victim and witness to, trafficking ring at Trump golf course in Rancho Palos Verde, California between 1995 in 1996. Now, you know what's interesting about that, guys? You know what's really interesting about that? This golf course, he does own it. Trump does own it. But you know what's interesting? He did not own it in 1995 or 1996. Trump golf course, Rancho Palo Verde, California, established in 2006, 10 years later. So how in the world was that Trump's golf course before he actually owned it? Now, full disclosure, he did buy it in like 2002. Okay? He bought it in 2002 or 2003, and it officially opened in 2006. So explain to me how this caller, on this tip line, how is this factual? 95, 96, Trump golf course. Make it make sense. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Load of crap. Load of crap. Load of crap. Just saying. Just saying. Once again, we aren't going to run from this stuff. We're going to dig into it. Hey, was Trump actually doing something? Let me do my research. Looks like no, he wasn't. As a matter of fact, this complaint here is completely bogus because he didn't even own the place. That wasn't Trump golf course. He didn't buy it until 2002 and then didn't open it as his golf course until 2006. So how does 1995 and 1996 make sense? Doesn't. Here's the other thing. And I've said this before. Common sense will tell you that if Democrats were willing to throw everything in the kitchen sink at this man, I mean literally everything. Democrats literally changed the statute of limitations in New York so that one case could come against Trump. I forgot the chick's name. They're literally changing laws to try to go after Trump. But you mean to tell me they had, some damning evidence that he was messing with little kids and they didn't release it? You really want me to believe that? I might have been born at night, but it wouldn't last night. All right? It wouldn't last night. You gotta be, I'm not gonna say that. I was about to say something pretty rude, but like, come on now. It's common sense. If they had Trump dead to rights in the files where he was messing with kids, wouldn't the Biden administration, wouldn't they have released that and ended his whole political career and stopped him from being president? I mean, this is common sense to me. Like, if I'm Kamala Harris, I'm like, yo, hey, we dropping these files. Forget this guy. Matter of fact, we gonna wait. We're gonna wait until a few days before the election, and then we're gonna drop the files. So it's too late for the Republicans to switch anybody out. It's too late. Yeah, the person that you're about to vote for, he was on the Epstein Island messing with little kids. Here's the proof. Bam. 3 days before the election. Have fun, Republicans. Have fun. Political career over with. Whole nother court case coming. You know what I mean? Like, easy. Done. Career finito. It's finished. It's over with. But they didn't. Why? because they didn't have anything. It's common sense, man. It's common sense. It's common sense. But unfortunately, common sense is just no longer common in this world. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Stay safe. Peace and love. I'm out.